Hello friends, this is another lecture of application of partial differential equation. In today's lecture, we will study about the application part of partial differential equation. In applied mathematics, the partial differential equation generally arise from the mathematical formulation of physical problem, subject to certain given conditions called boundary conditions. Solving such an equation is known as solve a boundary value problem. The method of solution of such equation differs from that used in the case of ordinary differential equation. We first find out the general solution of the ordinary differential equation and determine the particular solution with the help of given condition. In this particular case, from the start we try to find particular solution of the partial differential equation which satisfies all the boundary condition. These application part we just use method of separation of variable. For this particular method we take first question, solve del u over del x equals to 3 del u over del t. In this method we assume that the dependent variable is the product of two functions, each of which involves only one of the independent variable. So two ordinary differential equations are formed, that is, let it is equals to 1, and in the solution part we have to let u equals to capital X x into capital T small t, that is capital X is the function of small x only and capital T is the function of small t only, that is this is the solution of this particular equation. So we have to find the value of del u over del x and del u over del t in term of capital X and capital T. Then how to find? We differentiate equation 2 partially with respect to small x and small t. Now del u over del x is equals to t is a constant because t is the function of small t only and we are differentiating partially with respect to x. Now capital X is the function of small x only. So whether we write partial differentiation of this function, that is del x over del x, or write dx over dx, it will not affect the value of this particular function. For example, if we let capital X is equals to 3x square plus 4x minus 5, then partial differentiation of this function is 6x plus 4 and differentiation of this function is also equals to 6x plus 4. So when a function is of one variable, then whether we differentiate it partially or differentiate it normally, it does not affect the value of this particular term. So we can write it as d capital X upon d small x. Let it be first. Similarly, when we differentiate partially with respect to small t, then it will convert capital X d capital T upon d small t. Let it is equals to second. Now putting first and second in equation number 1, we get capital T d capital X upon d small x is equals to 3 capital X d capital T upon d small t. Now as stated, we have to apply the method of separation of variable, that is we have to separate the variable, that is we have to take capital X in one side and capital T in another side. So we can transfer it into the left hand side and transfer capital T into the right hand side. So we get 1 upon x d capital X upon d small x equals to 3 upon capital T d capital T upon d small t, and let it is equals to small k. Now there are three conditions possible. First is case first, when k is greater than 0, that is we can let k equals to small p square, then 1 upon x d capital X upon dx is equals to 3 upon t d capital T upon dt equals to p square. Let they are first, second and third. So taking first and third, 1 upon x d capital X upon d small x is equals to p square, or we can write it as d capital X upon capital X is equals to p square d small x. Now variable separated directly, so integrating both sides. So what do we get? Log capital X equals to p square small x plus log c1, or we can write it as x is equals to c1 e raised to power p square x. Let it be a. Again from second and third, 3 upon capital T dt upon dt is equals to p square, or d capital T upon capital T equals to p square by 3 dt. Here after integration, what do we get? Log capital T equals to p square by 3 small t plus log c2, or capital T can be written as c2 e raised to power p square by 3t. Let it be b. So putting a and b in equation number 2, we get u equals to c1 c2 e raised to power p square x e raised to power p square by 3t. Let it is equation number 3. In case number 2, when k equals to 0, then 1 upon capital X d capital X upon dx is equals to 3 upon t d capital T upon dt equals to 0. First, second and third. Again by the same process, we are taking from first and third. 1 upon capital X d capital X upon dx is equals to 0. So what do we get? D capital X upon capital X is equals to 0. It implies log capital X equals to log C3, or we can write capital X is equals to directly C3. Similarly, on taking second and third, we get 3 dt upon t is equals to 0, or capital T equals to C4. So putting in second, we get u equals to C3 into C4. That is equation number 4. Third, when k is less than 0, that is we can let k equals to minus p square. Then 1 upon capital X d capital X upon dx is equals to 3 upon capital T dt upon small t is equals to minus p square. So this is first, second and third. Now from first and third, 1 upon x d capital X upon dx is equals to minus p square, or we can write it as d capital X upon capital X is equals to minus p square dx. So on integrating, we get log capital X equals to minus p square small x plus log c5, or we can write x is equals to C5 e raised to power minus p square x. Similarly, capital T is equals to C6 e raised to power minus p square by 3t. Put in second. We get u equals to C5 C6 e raised to power minus p square x into e raised to power minus p square by 3t. That is equation number 5. Now there are three different solutions exist for the all three conditions. That is, there is equation number 3, 4 and 5 may be the solution. It depends on the condition of the question. Now this is second question. Use the method of separable of variable to solve del u over del t is equals to del 2u over del x square given u equals to 0, t tends to infinite, as well as u equals to 0 at x equals to 0 and x equals to L. That is, in previous question there was no boundary conditions, but in this particular problem we also have some boundary conditions. So we shall solve it by the complete process. First we have to identify which kind of equation is. This is the equation of del u over del t is equals to del 2u over del x square. Then which kind of this equation? Let it be equals to 1. This is a heat equation. This is also described in my previous lecture, classification of partial differential equation. So we shall start as earlier. Let its solution is u equals to capital X into capital T. So differentiating partially with respect to small x and small t, we get del u over del t is equals to capital X d capital T upon d small t, and del 2u over del x square is equals to capital T d2 capital X upon d small x square. So putting in equation number 1, we get capital X d capital T upon d small t is equals to capital T d2 capital X upon dx square. Now we have to separating the variables. So 1 upon t d capital T upon d small t, which is equals to 1 upon capital X d square capital X upon d small x square, and it is equals to t. Now again three cases exist. When case first, when k is greater than 0, that is, let k is equals to p square. So what we get? 1 upon t d capital T upon d small t equals to 1 upon x d2 capital X upon dx square is equals to p square. Let it will be first, second and third. So from first and third, 1 upon t d capital T upon d small t is equals to p square, or we can write it as d capital T upon small t is equals to p square dt. So directly integrating log capital T equals to p square small t plus log c1, or capital T equals to c1 e raised to power p square t. From second and third, we get 1 upon x d2 capital X upon d small x square is equal to plus p square. So d square capital X upon d small x square is equals to p square capital X, or d2 capital X upon d small x square minus p square capital X is equals to 0. This is linear differential equation with constant coefficient. So we have to solve it by the complementary function and particular integral. So putting d upon d small x equals to capital D, that is d square minus p square capital X is equals to 0. For auxiliary equation, put d equals to m, then equate to 0 the bracket of LHS, that is m square minus p square is equals to 0, or m equals to plus minus p. So CF is equals to C2 e raised to power px plus C3 e raised to power minus ps, and pi is equals to 0 because right hand side is equals to 0. So capital X is equals to C2 e raised to power px plus C3 e raised to power minus px. Then putting capital X and capital T in equation number 2, we get u equals to C1 e raised to power p square t, C2 e raised to power px plus C3 e raised to power minus px. Let it be equation number 3. Case number second, when k equals to 0, that is 1 upon t, dt upon dt equals to 1 upon capital X, d2 capital X upon d small x square is equals to 0. Again taking first and third, 1 upon t, d capital T upon d small t equals to 0, or d capital T upon small t equals to 0, or what we write, capital T is equals to C4. Similarly, from second and third, 1 upon capital X, d2 capital X upon dx square is equals to 0, or we can write it as d square capital X is equals to 0. So for auxiliary equation, put d equals to m, then equate to 0 the bracket of LHS, that is m square is equals to 0 or m equals to 0, 0. So CF is equals to C5 plus C6x. Then Pi is also equals to 0. On putting the value of capital T and capital X again in equation number 2, we get u equals to C4 into C5 plus C6x. Let it will be equation number 4. Come to the last case, case number 3rd, when k is less than 0, that is let k equals to minus p square. So 1 upon t, d capital T upon d small t equals to 1 upon x dt square, d2 capital X upon dx square is equals to minus p square. From first and third, 1 upon t, d capital T upon d small t is equals to minus p square. On separating the variables, dt upon capital T is equals to minus p square dt. Integrating, we get log capital T equals to minus p square small t plus log C7. So capital T is equals to C7 e raised to power minus p square t. Again, from second and third, 1 upon capital X, d2 capital X upon dx square is equals to minus p square, or if we put d upon dx is equals to capital D, then d square capital X plus p square capital X is equals to 0. Again, this is a ordinary differential equation with constant coefficient. For auxiliary equation, put d equals to m, then equate to 0 the bracket of LHS. So what do we get? M square plus p square is equals to 0, or m equals to plus minus iota p. So this is the complex root, and for the complex root, CF is equals to C8 cos px plus C9 sin px, and pi is also equals to 0. So the complete solution, general solution of this particular term is CF plus pi that is capital X is equals to C8 cos px plus C9 sin px. So on putting the value of capital X and capital T in equation number 2, we get u equals to C7 e raised to power minus p square t cos C8 cos px plus C9 sin px. This is equation number 5. Now we have three different solutions for this particular problem which are written in the equation number 3, 4 and 5. Now we have to choose which is most appropriate solution for this particular problem. It is stated earlier that this is a heat equation and heat cannot transfer in particular in a direction, that is solution stated in equation number 3 is completely exponential solution. So this cannot be the proper solution of heat equation, same as the solution written in equation number 4 is completely linear solution and heat cannot transfer in linear form. But why? In equation number 5 it is the combination of exponential and trigonometric functions. So heat can transfer in this particular form. So this may be the most appropriate solution for this particular problem. So we can take this particular problem for the further solution. We have to find the value of these constants C7, C8, C9 if possible by the given boundary condition. So we are taking first boundary condition at u equals to 0, x equals to 0. Equation 5 becomes 0 is equals to C7 e raised to power minus p square t cos 0 1, that is C8, and sin 0 is 0. So this equation remains. Now there are product of three functions which is equals to 0. So either C7 equals to 0 or e raised to power minus p square t equals to 0 or C8 equals to 0. But C7 e raised to power minus p square t cannot be equals to 0, because if we take this equals to 0 then the entire solution will become 0. So from this C8 equals to 0, that is we get the value of C8. Put in equation number 5. We get u equals to C7 C9 e raised to power minus p square t sin px. This is equation number 6. Now we take this another boundary condition, that is at u equals to 0, x equals to n. So 0 equals to C7 C9 e raised to power minus p square t sin pn. Again we cannot put all these three equals to 0. So only sin PL remains. So on putting sin PL equals to 0, we get sin PL is equals to n pi, for n belongs to integers. So PL is equals to n pi, or we can write P equals to n pi by f. Put in 6. We get u equals to C7 C9 e raised to power minus n square pi square upon L square t into sin n pi x upon L. Let it be equation number 7. Now this boundary condition remains, and if we put u equals to 0 at t equals to infinite, this will become 0. And if this is equals to 0, then entire function will become 0. So we cannot find any particular solution at this particular boundary condition. So we can solve it by Fourier, since this is a Fourier sine series, and for the Fourier sine series constant can be represented by Bn. So we shall rewrite this equation in the form u equals to sigma t equals to 0 to infinite Bn e raised to power minus n square pi square t upon L square sin n pi x upon L. So this is the general solution of this kind of problem which satisfy n belongs to iota. In next lecture we will study wave equation and heat equation. For the better understanding of this particular method of separation of variable. If you like this video, then like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.